What's up, everybody? So been a little bit since the last upload. Reason for that is that we were scrambling for like the last month to get into our house. We had to do temporary occupancy just because we knew that we weren't going to meet our deadline when we had to be in the house, so we just focused on getting the things to get in under the pre-occupancy requirement, so all the safety stuff. So I'm not going to show you a video of the house just yet because we're waiting on just a couple more small things to get done, and then once we do, I will show you guys a full tour of the house because we are officially in. We've got some messes somewhere, but it's to be expected. We just moved into the house. So but for today, what I wanted to show you guys is that our yard was in mass disarray. I wish I would have had a video before just kind of showcasing what it had looked like previously, but the nice thing is that I married into a farm family, so I have access to heavy machinery. So my brother-in-law and my father-in-law, they hooked up their disc onto one of their tractors, and so they came out yesterday after we unloaded 4 racks of square bales, and they disced all of the yard. So I think they've got like roughly a 15 or 20 foot disc. Kept it folded up first just to go through, pass, make the outline, make sure we could hit where we needed to, and then they unfolded it, got both wings out, and then went over everything another time just because, which I mean, there's still a lot of big chunks. I mean, you can see here just huge chunks of dirt that we got to get still broken up. Unfortunately, we have been extremely dry here in southeast Nebraska over the last 3-4 weeks. We had a really good wet spring even going into the summer, and then mid-July hits and then we get like nothing for an entire month. We've got some rain, but it just has not been substantial enough to keep moisture in the ground like we really want. Is what it is. But today what I'm going to do is where we built, we have a ton of rocks in our property, so I need to go through and start collecting a lot of those, just so that way when my turf guy comes in, he is not hitting these with his pulverizer to break all these chunks up. So as you can see, we've got rocks just like all over. There's one right there. There's another big one, you can see it right there. But I have to go through our entire yard and start trying to find as many as I possibly can and get those picked up for my turf guy, like I said, because he's going to pulverize the dirt with his machine, get it all really, really finely broken up, and then that way it's going to be ready to go for seed. I don't have money for sprinklers and I don't have money for sod, so we are going old-fashioned with it. For Nebraska, we are cool grass. So best time for us to plant grass in our area is here coming up first part of September. So we want to make sure that this is all prepped, ready to go, get this all finely graded out, which my builder brought a skid steer out. We've got a retaining wall we got to finish up this week, and then he's got just a couple small little things to get everything done off of his list and get him out of here. He's been absolutely amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better builder for our home. So yeah, that's going to be today's plan. So I'll just kind of take you guys around the property, show you what the outline's going to look like, and we'll go from there. So ended up hooking up the Harrow onto the four-wheeler and went around, did a pass on everything to try to help break up some of these chunks. But I mean, there's just some that are, these things are like rocks no matter what I do. They're just so big and chunky. And then of course, harrowing it, kicked up a few more rocks, so I got to go back through and pick up some rocks. A little one there, big one there, littler one, bigger one. So I got a bunch of rocks I got to pick up yet, and then a little bit of trash, some bale meshing. So we are going to bring in a whole nother truck and pump a rock. When we built our driveway, I did it basically double width, just because I know I'm going to be having trailers and stuff like that come through there, so I wanted to make sure that that was nice and big. Well, when we did our rock up to the house, it got a little more narrow through here than what I like. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take this rock and go right up to that edge there so we can widen it out through here, and then we'll widen it out just a little bit through here as well. And then I know it's hard to see, but we actually don't have a good spot to turn around in our driveway when we pull into the garage. So we're going to put a pile of rock over in here, and it's just going to kind of go up and then go on the other side of the approach. It's not going to go into the house part, just on the approach up there. And then that way we've got a really good spot to turn around and get that all done. But then like out here, so I sprayed this 2 weeks ago now. Ended up killing a really good chunk of it. We just had a lot of dead material and everything. So we got this all disced up. This was mostly clover in this patch right through here. So we got that all killed, all disked, everything like that. And then harrowed this up. So then again, of course, we got rocks, we got some trash, some wood. But I'm gonna come back probably tomorrow night. I don't really have anything going on, so I figured tomorrow night, load up the trailer again, and then start coming through and picking up some of these rocks. Like, that's not even, I mean, it's not a rock, but it's just as hard as a rock. We need rain so bad here, it's not even funny. Like a good solid 3-day soaker just to get rain into the soil, kind of clean things up a little bit. If we get lucky, I may take the harrow out again and try to get that all cleaned up. But so come down here, you can kind of see, so our water meter, we are on rural water, is right there. Then there's a hydrant buried in there too. So I brought this out through here. I mean, I want a good size yard, but at the same time, I don't want to have to over mow. I think when I calculated it out, I'm gonna be at roughly 1.2 acres that I'm gonna have to mow. Is what it is. It'll probably take me a good hour to 2 hours to get it done, but you know, acreage life. Sometimes sacrifices got to be made for the greater good. But so we're gonna put some matting down all across the front here, I think, just because when we put that seed in, I just really don't want to have a rain come in and then just wash that all out, and all of that was for nothing. So I think I'm gonna spend a little bit of money, put some matting, straw matting all through here. I think kind of right through here, all the way down along the west side of the house, all the way up to the house. That way it keeps that soil that seed and soil in place, and hopefully we get it really good and established before October, middle of October, end of October hits, where we start getting those freezes. We did have a garden. It ain't pretty right now, but she did produce. So we've ended up putting cucumbers in. We have watermelons, which I don't know if those are even any good anymore, because again, we haven't had the rain, so they just kind of stopped growing and sat there, and we never picked them when we probably should have. Then we got a couple cherry tomato plants, a regular cherry, I don't know, or not a regular cherry, a regular tomato. I don't know what kind of tomato plant. The wife ended up planting all that, but you can see she did not do a very good job of keeping it clean. Granted, we had a ridiculously busy summer. We got really lucky with rain, so this all grew really well for a while. But now it's just, I think it's pretty well done without any water or anything. We're just letting it go. So I mean, I think a lot of you know, I'm a real estate agent. where we are, I do a lot of acreages. That's kind of my niche. That's what I really, really love enjoying selling and helping people with. So we got really lucky. I had a client who was selling a house in February, March timeframe. Met with them. They moved out of state and no longer on an acreage. So they had a 4-wheeler Ranger, a whole bunch of stuff. And so I had, I'd asked them to buy their 4-wheeler from them. So that worked out really well. So we've got a Polaris 4-wheeler up at the house. We keep that in the garage. And then the nice thing was we got this little garden trailer that came with it, as well as a blade to help us push snow in the winter. So that way we can at least get out of the driveway. And if it gets too bad, like I just said a little bit ago, I'm married into a family of farmers, so I know if I'm really stuck, all I gotta do is make a phone call, which the in-laws are literally right across the road, so it's amazing. We did get our hay cut. We've got roughly 20-ish acres of hay. Brome hay is what it is for us. We've still got a few bales down there left from last year, and I think we got like 15, 16 bales. And again, without that rain, we only got one cut off of our field, which really sucks. Because usually we get about 35 to 37 bales, but again, is what it is. Can't help it. Can't force the weather. Can't get the rain when we need it. But so then this ended up growing up being all of our septic tank and our lateral runs. So all that tall stuff. Obviously, we can't drive over that. We don't want to break the pipes or anything. We just have to let that all really settle, and then next spring may try to come in and clean it up as best I can, getting that all done. Yeah, the sunset is freaking beautiful out here. Yeah, so I don't know, I tried to clean this up as best I can. I mean, we've just got a really old small harrow. It's probably a 4x4 harrow, and you know, I killed this stuff, and you know, it is what it is. That disc broke up a lot, but it just didn't get the fine breaking that I really would like to have seen. And some of this wasn't completely dead, so we've got a lot of trash. I just got to talk to my guy and see if we need to do anything with that, or if his machine, when he comes in, kind of cleans up all this as well. May have my builder kind of clean up these edges. We had to build up the soil when he disked. I tried to flatten it out as best I could, but there's just no weight to that harrow, so I can't really get it to drag out the way that I want. And he dropped off his skid steer today because we're going to need that for our retaining wall, which I'll show you where that's going here in a second. But maybe have him come in, just kind of clean up these edges just a little bit. When you disc too, I mean, obviously it's really hard to tell, I don't know, but like there's some high spots that really need to kind of shave off, especially right here on the backside, and it's a little wavy up to the house. We don't want that. And then a little bit closer over to the house over there, again, kind of some high spots we just really need to get cleaned up, which for my builder and his skid steer, that's really not going to take much at all for him to get that all leveled out, good to go, put it in a good spot so that way we can get it ready for seed. But yeah, man, I kicked up a ton of rocks. Some of them aren't rocks, but just, man, this soil is just hard as can be. I can't believe how dry it is, but we'll get it all cleaned up and get some rocks picked up. I'm hoping maybe next week or week and a half, have the guy come in, pulverize everything, do a final touch up, and then get the seed planted. Then I told him I can put the blankets down, that's no problem. I'm just gonna have to take a little bit slower. I may have to recruit the wife, have her help me out a little bit. But so you can kind of see we went a little close to the pond. It's like still like, I don't know, 20-30 feet before you even get to the part that starts rolling down in there. When we dug that out for more dirt for here, for the house, because we were really short for backfill around the foundation, we really had to scrape out quite a bit around the pond just to be able to get enough to fill where we needed to. We've thought about, like, way down the road, maybe drilling just a well, put a solar panel on it, and then that thing will just pump that. And then if we could raise that another 8 feet, I mean, I might actually consider putting some fish in there, but right now it's just a little catch pond. We're gonna leave it be. If it fills up, it fills up. If it drains, or if it dries up, it dries up. It really doesn't matter. Our son is having a blast though. We've got some bullfrogs in there. So he's been using a little lure and he loves catching them. He takes the pliers, he gets them off himself. Because we do have a season for bullfrog in Nebraska, but we don't keep them or anything. He just enjoys fishing and fishing for them and puts them back. And I think he's double digits now already since we moved into the house. So he's been doing pretty good. Pretty proud of him. He'll take the four-wheeler and grab his fishing pole and his tackle box and grab some pliers, and he just goes down and has some fun. So yeah. But we got the propane tank in. We got the main electrical power over there as well. So we are going to be a propane furnace. We've got a gas stove. We've got fireplace. So that's all going to run off propane. And then through here, this is really kind of rocky through here. I got quite a bit of cleanup I got to do through this little area. But then like that retaining wall, you can see here what that grade does. It really cuts sharp right through here. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna obviously cut back this dirt to probably somewhere right about in here. So about 10-12 feet. And then I think we're only gonna go maybe 4 or 5 feet tall. We really don't have to go too terribly tall. And then we'll just kind of backfill in behind that wall, make that really nice and clean through here, get this all cleaned up, looking good. And then that drain tile, there is a tile buried kind of in there. That'll come back into that retaining wall, keep that flow away from the house. Looking good. But yeah, we're doing a lot of things that I want to do. You know, we're in the house, which is, I can't even describe the feeling of being able to move into something you've worked years and years and years to be able to do. It's incredible, and we're loving every single second of it. For the first couple weeks, my wife and I, we didn't even feel like it was our home, just because we've lived in such a little home with our kids for it was 9, almost 10 years before we moved out here. And you go from a 900 square foot house to a 2,300 square foot house, and and everything's brand new and all the things, and you just don't feel like it's your house. And we're slowly starting to acclimate and realize that, you know, we did it. All the hard work that we've put in, time away from our kids, late nights, driving literally tens of thousands of miles for our clients, going everywhere to be able to help them buy and sell real estate. It's been amazing. And I'm excited to show you guys all the rest of the house when we got the last of it done. Give you guys a real full tour, see what it looks like, all the actual finishes that we did, everything like that. It was roughly 10 months, and that's what I figured it was going to be. We really had to push at the end, so we're actually like full completion. We're gonna be 11 months, which that's nothing. But no, thank you guys so much for following along. Hope you guys are enjoying the journey. We'll have a couple more videos come up, and then kind of really just get into some farm stuff. And we got weaning of calves coming up here pretty soon. We got to pull them off pastures and get them weaned and vaccinated and sorted and all that fun stuff. And then not long after that, then harvest is going to kick up, and yeah, just keep on rolling. So thank you guys as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next one.